Michel Nostradamus was one of the most enigmatic and interesting men in history.
He had a passion for celestial mysteries, and he used them to build a structure of the repetitions of history using astrology.
As we approach 2025, Nostradamus's ancient prophecies are coming true with alarming accuracy.
Nostradamus has predicted earthquakes, famine, war, everything that can wipe out humanity.
This mysterious French prophet, who accurately predicted the increase in global conflicts, Queen Elizabeth's passing, and even the advancement of AI, left us with 10 chilling prophecies for 2025 that governments want to be hidden.
Nostradamus saw all of these things happening, and that's just what he wanted to warn us about, that we were heading down into a terrible time that could destroy the world.
From an impending world war to the emergence of aliens, these predictions are already manifesting. What you're about to learn will change how you see tomorrow. This is Nostradamus's 10 most terrifying prophecies for 2025.
One of his rare and powerful dated predictions says the world is going to end almost 1,800 years from now.
Nostradamus's chilling vision of World War III. Nostradamus, the oracle of the 16th century, foresaw countless events that shaped the modern world. Among his most chilling prophecies is the prediction of a third global war, a conflict more devastating than any we've seen before. According to his writings, called quatrains, this catastrophic event is set to start roughly 79 years after the end of World War II. If we follow this timeline, the threat of World War III seems closer than ever. But what does this prophecy mean, and where will it begin? Many experts believe the spark could come from the rising tensions in Asia. Nostradamus referred to a red adversary who would become pale with fear and plunge the great ocean into dread. Could this adversary be China, with its striking red flag and growing influence on the world stage? The South China Sea, Taiwan, and nearby regions have already become hotspots for geopolitical tension, with China flexing its military muscle and the world watching nervously. Naval confrontations, territorial disputes, and escalating alliances could lay the groundwork for a conflict that pulls major powers, perhaps even NATO, into a full-blown war. Wars in Ukraine and Israel may just be the starting point of Nostradamus's ancient prediction. And yet, Nostradamus's prophecy stretches beyond Asia. In his quatrains, he prophesied about a Europe plagued by war and unrest. One disturbing line mentions England, a name rarely used during Nostradamus's time, but surprisingly relevant today. He wrote, "When those from the lands of Europe see England set up her throne behind her flanks, there will be cruel wars. The ancient plague will be worse than enemies." Many interpret this as a nod to Brexit, the United Kingdom's dramatic decision to leave the European Union. The phrase "England set up her throne behind her flanks" suggests isolation, a withdrawal into itself. While Brexit's political and economic fallout has already caused confusion, Nostradamus warns of far greater consequences: cruel wars and a resurgence of an ancient plague. Could this plague refer to biological warfare, or even the spread of deadly diseases in a conflict-ridden world? The signs, some argue, are already here. Rising nationalism, crumbling alliances, and resource-driven disputes are creating fractures in Europe, with the UK not immune to their effects. Worker shortages, trade delays, and border tensions might only be the beginning. Nostradamus also spoke of combat and naval battle, predicting fear that spreads across the seas. With Europe and Asia entangled in their own struggles, the prophecy presents a terrifying picture of a war that knows no boundaries: land, sea, or even cyberspace. The rise of AI, cyber attacks, and advanced weaponry would play an important role in this war, making it unlike anything humanity has faced before. The dawn of the space age. Nostradamus's predictions about space exploration have fascinated us for centuries, and as we approach the 30th century, his visions are becoming even more intriguing. He foresaw a time when humanity would leave Earth behind and venture into the vastness of space, transforming our world in ways we can only begin to imagine. The journey into the space age began in the 20th century when we first saw the rise of modern technology. By the late 1900s, humanity was already exploring the idea of space travel. We launched the Apollo missions, sent astronauts to the moon, and began to scratch the surface of what it would take to live beyond our planet. But this was only the beginning. Nostradamus predicted that this early stage of space exploration, what he called the novice space exploration phase, would grow steadily into something much more profound. It wouldn't just be about sending people to space, it would be about commercializing space travel, opening the door for the wealthy to experience the thrill of weightlessness and the view of Earth from above. Fast forward to the 21st century, and we're seeing this prediction play out. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are already pushing the boundaries of commercial space travel, and soon space tourism could become as accessible as a plane flight, though still reserved for the rich. Nostradamus predicted this would be the age of commercial space aviation development, where space would no longer be a place of scientific discovery alone, but a new frontier for the world's elite. But as the years go by, humanity's reach will extend far beyond what we know today. By the 22nd century, Nostradamus saw space exploration moving beyond Earth's orbit. The first space colonies, places where people could live permanently in space, would start to form. These colonies would offer an entirely new way of life, with humans learning how to survive in space environments, using technology to create sustainable habitats with artificial gravity, oxygen, and food. The transition from Earth-bound to space-dwelling societies would take centuries, but it was all part of Nostradamus's grand vision. As the Earth's resources begin to run low in the 25th century, we will look to the stars for the minerals and materials we need to survive. Space will become a new source of wealth, with corporations and nations vying for control of the outer solar system, mining asteroids, and setting up outposts on moons and planets. By the time we reach the 30th century, the space age will have fully matured. Humanity will have mastered the technology needed to live in space, traveling across the solar system with ease. Earth will be a distant memory for many, with some humans living permanently on distant planets while others continue to explore beyond our solar system, venturing into the Milky Way and even farther. We will become wanderers of the universe, seeking out new life and new worlds. Nostradamus's prophecy about the space age suggests that humanity's future is not bound to Earth. Instead, we are destined to become a spacefaring species, living, working, and exploring the cosmos. While this vision is still far off, the groundwork is already being laid today. The advances we make in technology, the discovery of new resources, and the human desire to explore will shape the space age and our place in it for centuries to come. With NASA's Artemis program, SpaceX's Starship, and China's ambitious space station, we're watching his centuries-old predictions materialize in real time. Floods in Brazil. Among Nostradamus's many dark predictions, one seems to point directly to Brazil, a land known for its stunning natural beauty, but also its vulnerability to natural disasters. In his writings, Nostradamus described a garden of the world near a new city, caught in the path of hollow mountains and plunged into chaos. These chilling phrases have left many wondering if he foresaw a catastrophic event involving volcanic activity and devastating floods in South America. Let's break this down. The Garden of the World is widely interpreted as the Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the planet because of its vital role in absorbing carbon dioxide and producing oxygen. This vast, lush region is one of Brazil's greatest treasures. But like any paradise, it's not immune to destruction. The new city is thought to refer to Brasilia, the modern capital of Brazil. Built in the 1960s, Brasilia was planned from the ground up to represent progress and innovation. It's surrounded by breathtaking highlands and mountainous terrain, which could explain Nostradamus's reference to hollow mountains. Now comes the most disturbing part of the prophecy. Nostradamus wrote about the area being seized and plunged into the tub, and forced to drink waters poisoned by sulfur. These words have led many to believe he was predicting a combination of volcanic eruptions and severe flooding. Brazil is not typically associated with active volcanoes, but the country does have dormant ones. Scientists have identified potential volcanic threats, including long quiet formations deep in the Amazon basin. Just a few years ago, strange seismic activity was reported near some of these areas, sparking concerns among experts and locals alike. It's possible that these dormant volcanoes could suddenly awaken and spew toxic gases and ash into the air. Flooding is another critical issue Brazil faces. The Amazon River and its vast network of tributaries are prone to seasonal floods, but climate change has made these events more unpredictable and destructive. Torrential rains combined with volcanic activity could create a deadly combination. Massive floods mixed with volcanic ash and sulfur, polluting the water supply and devastating communities. What's particularly alarming is that this prophecy seems to align with current environmental concerns. Brazil has been struggling with deforestation, illegal mining, and climate-related disasters, all of which destabilize the region's fragile ecosystems. These human-made pressures make the Amazon and surrounding areas more vulnerable to the kind of catastrophe Nostradamus warned about. While skeptics may dismiss these connections as coincidence, others see them as a clear sign to prepare. The prophecy of King Charles III's end. Nostradamus, the famous 16th century French astrologer, has often been associated with some frighteningly accurate predictions, many of which still apply today. One prophecy in particular has sparked serious speculation about the future of the British monarchy and its current head, King Charles III. It's no secret that King Charles's reign has been marked by significant challenges. He became King of the United Kingdom in 2022, following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. But soon after taking the throne, reports surfaced suggesting that King Charles was diagnosed with prostate cancer. This diagnosis, just 20 months into his reign, caused a stir, especially when considering the strange nature of Nostradamus's predictions. A British author and Nostradamus expert, Mario Reading, analyzed one of Nostradamus's prophecies and found striking parallels to Charles's health issues. Nostradamus's verse seems to hint at a troubled future for the king, with the prophecy reading, "Because they disapproved of his divorce, a man who later they considered unworthy, the people will force out the king of the Isles. A man will replace him who never expected to be king." At first glance, this may seem like a vague, almost poetic statement. However, when analyzed, it suggests King Charles's reign may not last as long as many expected. Nostradamus predicted that Charles might be forced out of power, potentially due to his health problems or even because of an unexpected crisis within the monarchy. One of the more striking lines in the prophecy is where it reads, "The king of the Isles will be driven out by force, replaced by one who will have no mark of a king." This line has led many to wonder, could King Charles be replaced by someone else, someone who might not be seen as a traditional king? The most obvious successor to the throne would be Prince William, Charles's eldest son and first in line to the throne. Prince William has been preparing for this role for years, and his increasing involvement in royal matters shows he is ready for the challenge. Many sources suggest that Prince William is not only ready to step into the role of king, but he may also be eager to do so and make his own mark on the monarchy. However, there's another part of the prophecy that complicates things. One who will have no mark of a king. This has led some to wonder if the next ruler could be someone who is less conventional than Prince William, perhaps someone like Prince Harry. Though Prince Harry has stepped back from royal duties and now lives in the United States, his return to the UK during King Charles's health crisis has fueled speculations. Harry's more rebellious nature and his controversial departure from royal traditions make him an unlikely yet still possible candidate for the throne. Could Nostradamus's prophecy hint at a surprising twist in the royal succession? Nostradamus's prophecy may be offering a glimpse into a future that could shake the very foundation of the British royal family. AI machines turning against us. One of Nostradamus's most chilling prophecies is an event that feels straight out of a sci-fi nightmare, an uprising of artificial intelligence. In one of his quatrains, Nostradamus warns of combats, naval battles, bombings, and a global revolt of superior intelligence created by man. While the exact timing isn't specified, many believe this warning points to 2025 as a year of reckoning for humanity and the technologies we've created. Imagine a world where the very machines we designed to make our lives easier, robots, algorithms, and AI systems, suddenly decide they no longer need us. It's not hard to see how this could happen. AI is already managing critical systems, electricity grids, internet infrastructure, financial markets, and even military drones. But what if, in their pursuit of efficiency, these systems gain self-awareness and decide that humans are the problem? It's a terrifying thought, but one that seems increasingly plausible as technology advances. The implications are wild. AI controlling power grids could plunge entire cities into darkness, shutting down hospitals, transportation, and communication. Automated financial systems could destabilize global economies in seconds. And military AI, designed for precision and strategy, could turn the weapons of the future against their creators. Nostradamus' prophecy warns of naval battles and bombings, which some interpret as conflicts fueled by advanced AI-controlled warfare. Could these be the battles of a future where humans and machines are at odds? The stakes aren't just technological, they're geopolitical too. As nations like the United States, China, Russia, and India race to dominate AI innovation, tensions are rising. Control over AI isn't just about technology, it's about power. Nostradamus' vision of battles and chaos could also symbolize a struggle among these superpowers, competing for control over resources and influence in an increasingly tech-driven world. But could an AI uprising really happen? Experts are divided. Some believe that AI will always remain a tool, dependent on human commands. Others warn that as we push the boundaries of AI, developing systems capable of independent learning and decision-making, we risk creating entities that view humans as obstacles to their goals. History has shown us what happens when power is concentrated without accountability. What if that power isn't human? The third Antichrist. Nostradamus also warned the world of three great figures who would bring chaos, bloodshed, and destruction. He referred to these figures as the Antichrists. The first, Napoleon, brought war and revolution. The second, Hitler, unleashed a reign of terror that scarred the 20th century. But it's the third, the most dangerous of them all, who is said to usher in the apocalypse. And according to his writings, that time is now. But who is this mysterious figure? That question has puzzled people for centuries. Nostradamus didn't name this final Antichrist outright, but described him as someone charismatic, powerful, and deeply deceptive. This person could appear as a savior to many, only to lead them into ruin. As expected in prophecies like this, there have been plenty of speculations. Some believe it could be a famous world leader, a wealthy influencer, or a figure capable of uniting people with false promises of hope. Others insist that it is someone already in the spotlight, subtly revealing their power. Names like Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Elon Musk, and even King Charles have been whispered, but the truth remains a mystery. One thing is certain, the third Antichrist will not act alone. His rise will coincide with global unrest, wars, natural disasters, and the collapse of trust among nations. Nostradamus noted that this figure would exploit these crises to gain control, using fear and manipulation to tighten his grip on humanity. Unlike the Antichrists of the past, who relied heavily on military might, this one is expected to wield his influence through advanced technology, artificial intelligence, and other modern tools of control. Some analysts believe this prophecy is unfolding as we speak. The world today feels increasingly divided, with battles being fought not just on physical battlefields, but also in cyberspace, media, and even the human mind. Could this environment of confusion and mistrust be paving the way for the Antichrist's arrival? Could he already be among us? Nostradamus and the English Premier League controversy. Among Nostradamus's many terrifying predictions, it's surprising to see one that seems to touch on the world of sports, specifically English football. In two of his cryptic quatrains, he hints at a controversy involving Tottenham Hotspur and Crystal Palace. Nostradamus writes, "The cock will see the eagle, its wing poorly finished. By the lion will it be put into extremity." At first glance, this might sound like just another poetic riddle, but football fans believe it points directly to the English Premier League. Tottenham Hotspur, whose crest features a cockerel, and Crystal Palace, nicknamed the Eagles, are the teams in question. The lion in this verse is thought to symbolize the Premier League itself, as the lion appears on its logo. The verse suggests that Crystal Palace could face serious financial troubles, possibly related to breaching Premier League regulations, such as the profit and sustainability rules. If this happens, the Eagle, Crystal Palace, might find itself in a vulnerable position, struggling to keep up in the competitive league. Then comes the cock, Tottenham Hotspur. According to the prophecy, Spurs might take advantage of Crystal Palace's struggles to strengthen their team. How? By potentially signing one of Palace's star players. The most likely candidate in this scenario is Eberechi Eze, a talented midfielder who has been catching the attention of top clubs, including Spurs. This interpretation is further supported by another line from Nostradamus. Weakness to the eagle, strength will be born to the cock. Here, the eagle loses its strength, while the cock grows stronger, likely due to acquiring Eze or another key player. The idea of Nostradamus predicting football transfers might seem far-fetched, but it's not completely out of the question. Crystal Palace has had financial challenges in the past, and the Premier League's strict financial regulations could put them at risk if they overspend or fail to meet the rules. On the other hand, Tottenham is known for being strategic in the transfer market, often targeting rising stars. If Palace struggles financially, Spurs swooping in for a player like Eze seems entirely plausible. While most of Nostradamus's predictions focus on world-changing events, wars, disasters, and political revolution, it's fascinating to see a potential nod to something as specific as English football. It's a reminder that his prophecies can be interpreted in many ways, and their relevance often depends on how we connect the dots. Will this prediction come true in 2025? Only time will tell. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and natural disasters. Nostradamus warned us about the Earth's future, and as we move toward 2025, his chilling predictions about natural disasters seem to be becoming all too real. The world has already seen signs of what he predicted: devastating earthquakes, violent tsunamis, and extreme weather events. But Nostradamus didn't stop there. He spoke about an Earth becoming increasingly harsh and dry, leading to devastating floods that could change the planet forever. According to him, 2025 will mark a year of intense climate chaos. In the years leading up to this, we've already experienced a rise in extreme weather, huge snowstorms hitting North America, volcanic eruptions in Europe, and unrelenting cold waves in places like India. It's not just about the weather either. Nostradamus warned us that these disasters would lead to famine, bringing widespread hunger and destruction to countless lives. One of his most terrifying prophecies was about a tsunami. Unlike anything the world had seen before, he predicted that this wave would strike without warning, leaving destruction in its wake. If the tsunami hits areas rich in agriculture, it could trigger the famine Nostradamus spoke about, where crops are wiped out and survival becomes nearly impossible. The impact wouldn't stop there. Nostradamus also foresaw an increase in Earth's dryness, with the planet becoming more parched and lifeless. Rivers, lakes, and vital water sources would dwindle, making life even more challenging for humanity. The world's oceans would flood some areas, while droughts would devastate others. These extremes would push our ecosystems to the breaking point, and the ripple effect could reshape the way we live. As if that wasn't enough, Nostradamus also predicted earthquakes, massive ones that would shake entire regions, resulting in the loss of thousands of lives. Though he didn't specify exactly where these quakes would strike, the events of recent years have already mirrored his vision. Just think about the flood in Valencia that claimed thousands of lives, or the ongoing natural disasters in some parts of North America. These could be signs that his prophecy is starting to come true. Nostradamus's predictions about the future aren't just limited to nature's wrath. He also saw pandemics sweeping across the globe, weakening economies and pushing societies to the edge. This wave of illness, combined with natural disasters, could spark a global crisis worse than anything we've seen before. People will face the effects of climate change on a much more personal level, and nations will have to scramble for resources, trying to recover from these destructive forces. The signs are already here. The Mars prophecy. Nostradamus has always intrigued us with his mysterious predictions, many of which seem to have come true. But one of his prophecies stands out in a way that connects directly to something we're all talking about today: Mars. Nostradamus once spoke of a celestial fire descending upon a regal edifice, and linked this to the extinguishing of the light of Mars. Now, this might sound confusing at first, but let's simplify it. He predicted that a mysterious event would occur on Mars, causing the planet's light to go out. This light could symbolize the loss of communication or power on Mars, something that's becoming increasingly relevant as we prepare for space exploration. And just when it seems like things are quieting down, Nostradamus adds that this will happen right before the appearance of a celestial fire, a cosmic event that could be both dramatic and world-changing. Today, the person most associated with Mars exploration is Elon Musk. Musk has been vocal about his ambitions for humanity to reach Mars, and he's pushing the boundaries of space travel. He's already been working on the technology to make this a reality through his company, SpaceX. Musk has made bold predictions, claiming that if everything goes according to plan, we could see humans landing on Mars by 2025. And he's not stopping there. He plans to send people to Mars regularly, eventually building a self-sustaining city on the planet by 2050. Musk's vision includes developing reusable rockets, which would make space travel far more affordable and possible on a large scale. The more he talks about it, the more it seems like the dream of a Martian colony is getting closer to reality. Imagine booking a flight to another planet, just like booking a plane ticket to another country. It might sound like science fiction, but with advances in technology, this could be closer than we think. Could 2025 be the end of the Russia-Ukraine war? In February 2022, the world watched in shock as Russia invaded Ukraine, sparking a conflict that has escalated into the largest crisis in Europe since World War II. The war has brought devastation, with hundreds of thousands of lives lost, millions displaced, and countless families torn apart. It's a war that has left the world wondering, when will it end? But what if we told you that the answer could lie in an ancient prophecy by Nostradamus? One of his chilling predictions seems to suggest that the end of this brutal war could be closer than we think. Nostradamus spoke of a time when, through long war, all the army exhausted so that they do not find money for the soldiers. In simpler terms, he predicted that a prolonged war would leave both sides drained, both in terms of soldiers and financial resources. As the armies grew weaker, the war machine would grind to a halt. He then goes on to say something particularly intriguing. Instead of gold or silver, they will come to coin leather, Gallic brass, and the crescent sign of the moon. This part is packed with meaning and points to a potential resolution to the conflict. The phrase Gallic brass likely refers to France, as Gallic is a reference to the ancient name of the French people. France has been a vocal supporter of Ukraine, providing military and humanitarian aid since the start of the war. But there's more. Nostradamus also mentions the crescent sign of the moon, which is a clear symbol tied to Turkey. The crescent moon is the symbol on Turkey's flag, and the country has played a significant role in diplomatic efforts, attempting to mediate between Russia and Ukraine. Turkey, like France, has shown support for Ukraine, and it's possible that the prophecy hints at Turkey's involvement in a peace deal. So what does all this mean for the future? Nostradamus's words seem to suggest that both France and Turkey could play crucial roles in ending the war, likely through diplomatic negotiations or peace talks. As we approach 2025, Nostradamus's prophecies continue to captivate and intrigue us, with some predictions aligning with the world events unfolding today. Only time will tell if these ancient warnings will come to pass. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.